Hey, true believers, Chris Mack coming at you with the Marvel Legends Hasbro Pulse exclusive X-Force 3-pack that has Rictor, Domino, and Cannonball. And guys, this was a beast to get a hold of. Because it wasn't exclusive, I didn't pre-order it in time, and when I thought about it, it was sold out. Speaking of, if you guys do want to pick this up, I'm gonna have my fingers crossed for y'all, because from what I understand is every time that it gets back in stock on Hasbro's website, sold out. And it's so frustrating because it's only about 70 bucks. So if you don't get it there, you're gonna have to go the second-hand market like I did. And yeah, the prices are kind of not fun. I'll leave it at that. But I have to say, I'm glad that I finally had it. These are 3 of my favorite X-Force members, and as you can see, the logo there looks cool. Marvel Legends looks awesome there. The varnish X-Men logo looks cool. I hate that it's torn right there. Anyway, come around to this side, and these are legit redos of the 90s trading cards. I believe I actually do have Rictor, and I think I have Cannonball. If you guys would like to see me flip through my old school X-Men trading cards, let me know. Maybe I'll do a video on that. But yes, these are recreations, and I love that for that reason. You come around to the back, and you get larger versions. I kind of wish they would have given the flip side like they did the Polaris Havoc 2-pack, because it would give you stats and a quick read-up, and it really kind of gave you an idea of who the characters were if you were never, knew X-Men up to that point. It was just a really cool time in the 90s. Come around to this side. Same trading cards there. Nothing on the bottom. So with that said, let's get this awesome 3-pack open and just look at everything it has to offer. And here's our heroes out of the packaging. As you can see, when you start posing them, you're going to have one heck of a good time, especially if you want to do like a diorama and put it on a shelf or photography. You guys are just going to have so much fun with these figures. I've only been playing with them for probably about 20 minutes, and I'm already head over heels excited. That's not to say that there are a few things that are going to kind of drive me wild. What do I mean by that? Let's get our X-Force team off the spinner and get a closer look at them. Quick backstory on these 3 figures. Julio Esteban Richter was created by Luis and Walter Simonson. His first appearance was X-Factor number 17 from June 1987. He was saved by X-Factor from the right and would go on to first join the New Mutants and then later X-Force. His power is Earthquake Generation. Neena Thurman, Domino, was created by Fabian Nicieza and Rob Liefeld. Her first appearance, though, it wasn't really her, but it was New Mutants number 98 from February of 91. Her first real cameo is X-Force number 8 from March of 92. And her first real full appearance was X-Force number 11 from June 1992. Domino helped co-found the mercenary band 6-pack with Cable, and then when she would join him in X-Force, she has the ability of luck. Yes, we know it's not very cinematic, but her probability-altering powers always turn things in her favor. Lastly, Samuel Zachary Guthrie was created by Chris Claremont and Bob McLeod. His first appearance was Marvel graphic novel number 4, The New Mutants from September of 1982. He and Danny Moonstar were the co-leader of the New Mutants, and then him and along with the remaining New Mutants would eventually join forces with Cable and create X-Force, where Sam would grow to be the team's second-in-command field leader, and Sam's mutant powers are jet propulsion, creating a protective blast field while he's blasting. So there's some starting reading for you guys on these awesome figures. Now let's look at the accessories. For Rictor, I almost called him Havoc. I'm glad that he first comes with, as you can see here, get some focus. He comes with 2 fisted hands, which is always welcome because you can't get that punching effect. Next, he comes with 2 sort of blurred blobs because, focus. Clapping hands, so, kind of like Avalanche or Havoc, he can slap his hands together and create the earthquake effect. So I'm very much glad that they gave us both of those options. Secondly, because of those, he comes with these green power effects, which, I'll be honest, I'm always welcome effects, but good gravy, am I sick and tired of these so bad. Like, I wish that we could get something different. Like, at the time of this recording, I think with the Bone Crusher. What's that guy's name from the Reavers? The Build-A-Figure wave, we're getting Havoc that's supposed to have like these big loop effects. And we get stuck with these instead. I kind of feel like those should have been premiered with this exclusive pack. So, frustrating. Now for Neena, she comes with 2 gun hands. I'm glad for that, so we'll put her back. Next, she actually comes with some punching hands, which, you know, Domino does do fisticuffs from time to time, but usually it's her guns or some sort of weapon. But nonetheless, just like with Richter's power effects, I'm not going to knock not having extra accessories, so I'm glad for that. She comes with this weird-ass looking pistol, which just like the, what was it? Sasquatch Build-A-Figure wave, which we will go over. Kind of looks like that, but all those effects were purple. This one has that glimmering gunmetal gray there. The black looks cool. And even though it doesn't look like a gun that you would use normally, still welcome and looks different. I personally like the rifle, and I'm glad that for once with this one, you know, we get some gunmetal gray here instead of all being one color. Like a lot of these weapons we get, they're one color and it drives me nuts. So here, you know, we get some detail. The shimmer just looks great. Lastly, Cannonball. Comes with 2 heads. So I think it was the Caliban Build-A-Figure wave where the Blast Sam came. He came with this head sculpt, which we will go over that figure eventually. But I don't know what Hasbro was thinking by releasing him with no legs and that effect. That was stupid. But you can see as they decided to use the old head sculpt. But look at the eye goggle difference. It's just night and day. But nonetheless, being able to have kind of a more resting, serious face, and then the blasting, I'm gonna get you face, I'm thankful for. Now, the last thing that Mr. Guthrie here comes with, other than legs, thank God, is the blast effect. This one, again, we'll go over the old one, but this one's a little bit different. I like the white that they added here, how it just sort of dry brushes all the way down. And it's hollow, so you can, you know, put something in it if you need them to prop up. That's cool. And then I'm glad, too, that they made this relatively easy. So still just be gentle. Bang, let me just wang everything. But see, how hard would that have been on the first one? Because this is essentially what all the other figure is. Woo, that really blew that up. So what you do, hole, peg, and then just work it around till it fits in there. And there you go. We got a blasting Sam Guthrie. If you guys have never seen the Caliban Build-A-Figure wave one, that's all it is. And that's why it pissed so many fans off when it came out, because we were like, where's his legs? We can't do nothing other than have, you know, a freaking paper holder here. Ugh, it was so frustrating. So I'm glad that we finally have a Sam Guthrie where you could swap that stuff out. Now those are the, what do you call it? Those things that do stuff. Accessories, let's look at the paint apps. Rictor. Skin tone looks spot on. The browns look great. Eyes look awesome. Facial features look awesome. So does his green bandana, whatever you want to call that. Brown hair, very Flavio looking, awesome. Of course, the old 90s X-Force look where everyone had to have some sort of prominent X on their uniform. So hell yeah, I'm gonna rock that. The silver shoulder pads, buckles, that was always the 90s thing. And then like Warpath, I'm glad that they kind of gave him the tassels, even though I believe Rictor is Mexican-American and Warpath's Native American, right? So still, it's just kind of a cool effect. That's what he had on in the comics. Belt with all its wonderful pouches looks great. Blacks look good, blues look good, silver looks great. I love the 90s. They decided to go wild, and it just, you know, everything in that time period was just extreme, and it worked. I mean, look at all the blues and blacks on that. That is so dope. Knee pads look great. Boots look awesome, and of course you always have to have metal spiked boots. Hell yeah. Boots ripple is the word. the way they should. Awesome stuff. Now, one thing about the 90s Domino that I always hated, and I think initially, like this is going to sound so petty, but I didn't like Domino at first just because I didn't like the headdress thing that she wore, which is what this thing is. I didn't understand it. And when they retooled her later in the 2000s and got rid of that purple headdress, I liked her a lot better. Still, in hindsight, with the nostalgia, I'm glad it's there, but I wish they could have made that like a removable or something, because it just it gets a little, what do you call it, wonky, and it just kind of goes on her face, and it's just like she has tusks or something. But her eyes look great, hair looked good. Pink shoulder pads, because, you know, 90s. All the pinks look great. Pouches. Armor. I love how they have the buttons there for the type of militaristic shirt this is supposed to be. Lean into the whites. Though I will say the one thing pisses me off. Again, pins. We have pinless technology. We get that with Lady Deathstrike. This is an exclusive. What the hell? Why? Why would you do that to us? That just kills me that in an exclusive, hard to find 3-pack you give us pins. That was some piss poor planning right there, whoever decided that. So I'm going to set that right there. Now for Cannonball, we just went over the blast effect, which, there it goes. We just talked about the reds and oranges and all that good stuff you can do with it. Take his little puppy dog tail there, take the little hole there, and snap. We're back to legs. We just talked about the heads. I like the, what do you call it, the dry brushing of the dark brown into his hair to kind of give it that dirty blonde look. Looks great. Both heads I like, even though they're completely different shapes, I'm still welcome them. I like that they're both reflectant. Skin tones look great. Blue eyes look awesome. Purple jacket looks good. And you'd think 90s Sam rocking purple, he actually did with white pants after Labor Day. Nonetheless, gray gloves look good. Leather jacket looks awesome. Purple shirt looks good. Everything about the paint apps, I can't complain about. They look awesome. You know, this just reminds me of how the 90s X-Force was supposed to be. Excuse my text message there. But yeah, the paint apps overall, I can't complain. They look absolutely great to me, and this is the X-Force team that I remember from my childhood. Articulation-wise, let's start with Rictor here and get more of a focus on him. He can look down about that much, up about that much. It's because of the hair that makes life complicated. He can twist his head that far, not too bad. Arms, again guys, warm your figures up. This dude was super stiff when I got him out of the packaging. So you can go up that much, and then you take the arm. The shoulder pads are going to kind of make your life a bit of a living hell, but see how the shoulder pad kind of bends up like that? So you can get him about that far. It is what it is. And then for a bigger guy, double jointed elbows. I don't know why they couldn't have done that for Cyclops from the Age of Apocalypse. I'm just saying. He can twist his what is this thing called? Waist. That much that way, that much that way. Ab crunch is great that way, ab crunch back that much. Hands go back and forth and swirly, swirly, twirly, twirly. Legs that far out, legs that far forward. Just about double jointed knees. Of course, the butt flap makes it impossible to do anything that way. Thigh swivel, foot go up, foot go down. Pivot, good stuff all around on Rictor for articulation. So, stay. Domino. Her head's very much on a loose knocker. There goes Julio. So we're just going to kind of put him off to the side. Head can go that way, head can go that way. Got a lot of play, so just be careful. And get some focus because she's liking to go blurry. So again, just like with Rictor, her shoulder pad goes with her, which is kind of weird, but you can kind of get that much range out of it. Upper thigh swivel. Look at that. Double jointed elbows. Swirly, swirly with the hand. Back and forth with the hand. She goes from the solar plex, so zoom, zoom. Get a nice range there. Legs go that far. Thigh swivel, that far out. Double jointed knees, what a concept. Foot go up, foot go down. Has the rocker. Good stuff on Neena. Put her back. Get these guys to stand because they want to make me look like a jackhole on camera. Come here, Mr. Julio. Stand. Stupid foot. All right, Mr. Guthrie. Head go down. Head go up. Arms go up, and thankfully it doesn't have a shoulder pad, so you can actually get all the way around. Upper thigh cut. Upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. Spinny, spinny, up and downy. Great work there, great work there, great work there, great work there. I'm giving him a workout, can't you tell? Legs that way. Has the swivel that far. Double jointed knee. Butt flap. Hinders. Foot go up, foot go down, foot go pivot, pivot. So on the range of motion, I can't complain too much. I mean, everybody does what they're supposed to. And then unlike that flippin' Age of Apocalypse Cyclops where single jointed elbows, I can't get over that. This 3-pack at least has some great articulation, so you're gonna have a lot of options. I absolutely love this 3-pack. I'm very thankful that I was able to pick it up, and I'm glad that I could finally add it to my X-Force team. The only things that really chap my hide about it is the fact that when we got that Lady Deathstrike, the pinless addition to her legs really set a precedent that I'm frustrated that this is supposed to be an exclusive set and we have pins in Domino's legs. So she has kind of those dainty legs as where Deathstrike's legs were a little more firm and secure. This is the same old crap. I'm not happy about that at all. The second thing is Richter's effects. Yes, they work for what it's supposed to be, but we've seen it so many times in so many figures. At the time of this recording, we're supposed to be getting a new Havoc here in the near future, and he's supposed to have these big hoop effects. I think that with this, it would have been cool to have shown it off with Rictor first and see how fans reacted to it. Because this is supposed to be, you know, something big and bodacious, not give us the same stock bullcrap. Next, when they released the first Cannonball, he only had the blast, no legs. Caused a big uproar in the collectors community. People begged for either like a mod that Hasbro would release, and when we heard that we were getting a Cannonball with legs and it came out as an exclusive 3-pack, that lit a lot of people up too. They thought that that was just crap. So that was cheap. But to be able to have it in hand, guys, if you can get your hands on it, overall, it's beautiful. Now, we have a lot of the X-Force, we have a lot of the X-Factor team. The two things that I wish Hasbro would give us are the 90s versions of Wolfsbane and Feral. Then I think I will be a happy camper. You know, it would have been nice to have gotten Feral instead of another Domino, but at least this one is, from this time period, accurate. So those are my thoughts, guys. I love it, minus those little gripes. What do y'all think? If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop and see if maybe someone has traded this in. You never know. That's how I found my Hellfire set. So always keep your eye out there. And if you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little X bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, photo slideshow coming up next. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.